Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash, double unto the apostles and elders, great mills on the real world, and Shalom to all the brothers of the necessary truth. Yeah, we need to talk about like this digital ID that you're basically getting pushed in the UK. You've got the one coming down the pipeline, which will be for driving licenses. So you have it on mobile for driving licenses, and I think for one other aspect as well. But this article kind of covers it. And there's Blair talking about it because it's really going back. He's been a big one like for pushing it back when because he came in 1997. Then he had the party through like the early 2000s, and like early 2000s was when there was a very big push for the digital ID. And it was, I think, voted on a few times but didn't pass. But now it's obviously after the pandemic's gone through, then you're looking at it and it's like, yeah, you can tell it's shifted very much so how the what do you call it? It's shifted how people kind of receive those things for it to be way easier to get through, because you already had in the UK over here, what was it, track and trace, where it was like for you to go to the pub, go to the cinema, go to wherever, you had to download the app, like check in where you're at, and then you'll do the test. Then if you get found positive, then any of the places you went to, you're getting notifications going there, and people accepted these things because why? Because they wanted to, have access to be able to go out and do things, because people are sick and tired of being stuck indoors. So as of the title on LBC, it said, Brits will sacrifice privacy for efficiency, Blair claims as he pushes for digital ID cards and facial recognition. And yeah, he's still, this guy hasn't been in office for like, well, it's almost fucking was it 2007, 2008 he went out. So near enough, like 2 decades, he's been out of office. But then what he's still, what he's saying still carries weight. Because, and facial recognition as well, which I think a lot of that got pushed under him. He was the one who brought in the UK, he brought in, it's an inside joke. He brought in the, was it driving, what are they called, thingy cameras, speeding cameras, which now they have it set where you get an automatic ticket just sent to your house if you're speeding on certain roads. And then a lot of the CCTV was done from like the late 90s to 2000s. That's when that kicked in to where the UK, London was the most surveilled city, which now it's become like it's beyond a norm out here. I remember like back in the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, it wasn't the same degree. You kind of go places and it wasn't as much, especially when you get to like central London, inside the city of London, the central part, the most affluent part. You did not have it anywhere near as much as it was before, but now it's all basically been connected and normalized to just have like a significant amount of those cameras, and that's like a standard being set to be spread into different parts of Europe, different parts of the world, into America as well. So Tony Blair's claimed that British people will accept less privacy in exchange for greater government efficiency as he pushed for national ID cards to be rolled out. And yeah, it says greater government efficiency, so it's justifying it with, okay, you get an upside to it. You sacrifice your freedom, but then it's like, oh, when you apply for your what's it called? You apply for a passport, it might go through quicker. You apply for, or you might have some tax data or whatever go through. These various aspects of what's it called? Of interacting with the government will be smoother, is what they're saying. And it's worth just being like, yeah, fuck your privacy. And that's where these things are going. But there's still resistance to it, and that's why it's like back in the 2000s, like trying to get that through, bro. People weren't trying to fuck with that for shit. But then it was like early 2000s, that was like the smartphones hadn't even come in like that. Like social media, people posting as much stuff as they do and being as open online with like where they go, what they do, posting pictures of their family, anytime they go and do anything. Those things, it's the privacy idea of privacy has changed a lot from back then to where now it's like most people are just kind of like fuck it. It says former prime minister who said never to have had a mobile phone while in Downing Street has since become an ardent supporter of using technology to improve the efficiency of the state. And that, you know, using the word fucking hell, using the word efficiency, just makes me think about, what is it? Elon's government department. They got set up by Trump, the Department of Government Efficiency, which then just makes me think, okay, these things are all tying down to getting the framework, the skeleton set up for the beast system. Because what does he say? Starmer, the first Labour leader since Sir Tony to have won a general election, has promised to embrace the technology and turn the UK into an AI superpower. Yeah, so technology, and then what? That's basically from that. All that sounds like is what going into the beast system, going into having the motb established, having all these different government systems rolled into it. They've already done it over here with what universal credit, where any kind of was it government support that you get, it rolls into what do you call it, universal credit. All gets handled by one payment, one system, and then that's basically what they're looking to do. And then with the digital ID, that's why you'll get your driving license there, but there'll be tax information, other things all rolled into one. And they're saying like, oh, you know, utilize AI, utilize these different things to bring it together. His predecessor's think tank, the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, is thought to be influential upon the government. You've got to reorder the government around this technology revolution, so Tony told the Times newspaper. He added, you should be able to have a state that is smaller and more strategic and providing greater efficiency at lower cost. That is a holy grail of governing, which people have always aspired to. Technology is the instrument that allows you to do it. And yeah, the thing with it is funny thing is like there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Like when you think about the idea, it's like it being smaller, getting things done quicker, and it being smaller, them getting things done quicker. You know, it sounds like it makes sense, but then that's what it's being presented at. But the reality of what they're looking to establish is really just around the beast system, getting that motb established. Because we'll say Starmer must also take a firm decision that we're going for digital ID, the XPM said. Ministers are already launching a digital wallet which will allow people to store driving licenses and other forms of ID on their smartphones. Science Secretary Peter Carl has said nothing's off the table in terms of what digital versions of government issued documents could be stored in the new app, which is launching in June. So yeah, they got the app, and then, you know, you kind of have it there, have it working, and then just slowly roll more and more things into it. Be like, okay, it's easier to handle your taxes, you do it through this. It gets processed easier, you know, with the assistance of AI or whatever. You know, they'll sell it, and it likely will as well. But then it's you know, laying the groundwork for what, you know, prophecy, which lets us know what the motb, man. So read this, Ezekiel 28:2. It says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Most High Power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man. And yeah, that's really what this system's trying to establish. Esau being able to say, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God. He's trying to be like, okay, I'm going to have, just like the Most High has angels and has a Holy Spirit, I'm going to have my own angel, I'm going to have my own Holy Spirit, where I utilize these technologies, these AI, these different uh, aspects of technology that he's been blessed with to then establish himself within these systems and then try and be like a god on earth. Because what does it say? Behold, thou art wiser than. Oh, wait, no. It says, yet thou art a man and not God, thou hast set thy heart as the heart of God. So you're setting your heart upon being that power. You're trying to be established where you can't be taken down, where no one can even contest the actions that you take and the things that you do. But then what's, the reality of it is, you're just a man. And that's why it's the systems you're trying to establish utilizing technology, which has, flaws in it, fundamental flaws. The shit can break down. It's, there's all kinds of errors and whatnot that can go through. And then the ultimate thing is it's not been co-signed by the Most High. The Most High has not co-signed it. And the thing is with this system, up to a point, will be when they're about to fill their belly. So it's co-signed up to a point, so that mark will be established. But then it's the fullness of it, where you have the capstone down on the pyramid. That's not going to come to pass. You're not going to have the fullness. You're not going to be established. You're not going to be like 500, 600, 10,000 years of Esau's system just instated. Because what does the scripture say? If the days weren't shortened, there'll be no flesh left to be saved. What this guy's trying to do is on a level of destruction he's not even capable of dealing with. But because it's in his nature, it's in his spirit, he has to endure through and act upon it. What does it say? Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. And yeah, thou art wiser than Daniel. There's no secret they can hide. He's been given wisdoms to act upon and, be able to shoot missiles, fly in the sky, set satellites in the heavens, develop all different kinds of technology, develop radio frequency identification, CHIPs, develop all kinds of forms of technology to where he's thinking like, damn, I really can be like the Most High on earth. Because there's what? With thy wisdom, with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Yeah, what was Tony Blair saying? Like, oh, we need to utilize technology. This technology, there's an opportunity there, essentially. We need to act upon that and have it baked into the system we're looking to establish. Because why? There's so much to be gleaned from utilizing it, which is true. And people are thinking like, oh, it'll be like, oh, instead of having to pay X, it will reduce the amount of taxes you have to pay. It will reduce the amount of time it takes to get things processed in the government. It will give more room for the NHS to do X, Y, Z. People have this idea where they think the system as it is just gonna kind of like bolt onto the back of that and then continue and grow and expand through that. But the reality of it is what it's going to be used by the elites for their desires, man. It says, therefore, thus saith the Most High Power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. So yeah, even though you're taking all those actions, and you've been given leeway and room to expand them and establish these things to be able to pull them off to such a degree, the reality of it is what? Man have been set up against you. So back in the article it says, but Blair said ministers must go further, telling the Times the government must be prepared for a big debate coming down the line on the future on digital ID. He added, this is the political argument people should have, which is how much privacy are you prepared to trade for efficiency? That's the real question around technology and public services. And he's correct. because privacy is the key issue. That's why having, they tried to get various different ways in the UK to have your accounts on social media, so your Twitter, your Facebook, your whatever. Facebook's kind of an outlier because really the way Facebook's been established is it's connected to your real name, your family and like friends and whatnot. The real life is kind of all linked in to there. Um, but then what does it say? Trade for efficiency. So the real question around technology public. So um, but then with the other like aspect, well, the way the internet was established in other ways is anonymity. And then because there's anonymity, and because it can just connect things so easily, information can get out, which is why you have the elites being like, yo, we shouldn't let the internet kind of be out there. But then, that's for the sake of prophecy, the unicorn, man. Basically letting the word get out. Because like you said, what is it? How much privacy are you prepared to trade for efficiency? That's really what they want. They want it utilized as a means of tracking, controlling, and keeping people in line, making sure they behave in the correct way. Which is why all online activity wants to be connected to that core identity. So it says, my view is that people are actually prepared to trade quite a lot. Among the applications for digital ID could be processing the vast flow of people coming through our borders, but they're said. He added that identifying people for medical treatment and finding out whether migrants are not entitled to be here to prevent them claiming benefits were among things that could be useful. And yeah, this is why they've had the migration issue over here in the UK. That shit is just it's made up, man. It's pretend because of the nature of the Commonwealth and movement, how it's been since the end of the empire in the UK. It does not have the same start, and especially because it being an island and having EU free movement as well. It just the immigration issue that they're talking about in the US. That shit does not exist as it does over here. They're kind of making, oh, they're going over in boats to Dover and Calais and blah blah. Bro, it's the reality is the migrants come over here, they graft, they grind, they're propping up this fucking entire economy. That economy is being maintained. But then why is the issue being pushed? Because like you said, it can be utilized to take away more of that privacy from people, and then be like, okay, no, the government can now come and establish systems within there because you don't want these migrants out here, blah blah blah. That's because people are going to these migrant hotels and throwing rocks and blah blah blah. It's like bro, what are you talking about, bro? What the hell is wrong with you? It's like you've been riled up. But then that's part of building these tensions that then allow the chaos to flourish, to then bring like, okay, we need to bring order, we need to send out the military, send out the coppers, and then establish laws to rein these things in. And then digital ID is basically that groundwork to get into the greater beast system. So it says it's sending a signal there's no point in thinking you're coming here and disappear into a kind of grey economy told the Times. Bringing in digital IDs will help ministers get tough on populism, he also suggested. It will also flush out a lot of people who want to talk about issues like immigration or benefit fraud, but don't actually will the means to get to the end. So yeah, it's something that they're presented as it's going to be a soothing balm to all ills. And that's really how these discussions, these dynamics go. Let the chaos run wild and stir people into a frenzy, and then be like, okay, well, we've got the perfect solution. All the issues you have, this solves it. Solves it all. Just take it, deal with it, and then people will. Because why Isaiah 31 and 1 it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Jehovah. And yeah, that's really what people are doing. They're staying on, going down to Egypt, staying on horses, chariots. Because why? They're seeing the system. It's like, nah, this system's gonna have all the answers, everything I desire on, and really, it's what they desire is that American dream. Even though in the UK, it's the same psychology of going somewhere, being able to work, graft, build up. Then in one generation, you get your kids set up, they all get educated, they all get well off. Then by the third generation, you're good, you're established. That's that dream that everyone's drawn into, and people can get that. They can get aspects of it. Some people can fully engage with it, but that faith in that system is built off this place going on forever. Which even for the elites, they're not as it is now. That they even that American dream, skeleton framework. They ain't even thinking about that continuing. They're looking to establish a system where everyone becomes, workers, grunts, cogs in the machine, man. It says what? Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not God, and their horses flesh, and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fell together. So yeah, holding on to and clinging on to that system. When it gets, it gets the ground taken out from beneath it, then it's gonna, it'll be a show. Oh my God, it'll be a complete shock. But then what's the reality of it is? It's toast, it's a wash. It's really, these digital IDs, different systems are going to bring in. People are going to be, clamoring for them. Because why? They think it's the solution, the soothe all, the soothe and balm. But, they'll find out the truth, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.